Hey guys, welcome back to Bohs Fan TV. And today we're going to be doing a bit of a different video. This time it's not a match preview. We're actually going to be talking about some of the transfers that we'd like to see the club make and what kind of strategies the club could use in this upcoming transfer window. Firstly, how are you, Aaron?
Grant.
Yeah, we won't talk about the Finn Harps game because it was this shit and it, it's long gone now. Seems like an eternity since the game, but yeah, it was a bad result, bad performance, but move anyway. But yeah, firstly, gonna start with some of the sort of main rumours that have come out. It's obviously quite early days, and the season is nearly over now. Only one game left. Um, firstly, there's been rumours of outgoings. Obviously, we're expecting Danny Manager to leave the club. But one outgoing that's been rumoured is that Andy Lyons could potentially be going to England. What do you make of that?
I can see why teams in England want him anyway, because he's the best right backs in the league, in my opinion, and he's still only 19, 20.
Yeah,
So
yeah, around that.
he still has a good bit of potential. But yeah, there's always going to be rumours around the young players anyway moving over to England. So,
And in that kind of same article that I read, it looks like Dawson the boy has agreed a new deal with the club. What do you make of that?
that was to see the young players from obviously the link with Kevin's and being promoted to the first team and Keith showing faith in them. And now he's been offered a new deal, which is brilliant for him as well, which will continue his development.
Yeah, when he's been given a chance this season, he's looked really impressive. So hopefully he'll feature more next season, maybe even break into the team and become a regular starter. Um, Obviously we heard a few weeks ago that Adam McDonald was weird that there's been pictures emerging of him meeting with Keith Long. Another rumor did come and that's kind of come around over the last couple of days. It's obviously just rumors at this stage. Apparently, Yoyo Mahdy could be on his way to Bohs. What do you make of that?
Well, UCD, they obviously lost the other night against Longford in the kind of quarter-final playoff thing. So he probably will be kind of wanting to move away out of the first division because he is a quality player. And yeah, if the rumours are true, Bohs are looking at him. He's a good striker anyway to look at, maybe for backup. Say if they one of Phoenix and Cawley, one of them will probably end up leaving the end of the season. Need another one there just in case. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, sort of two minds about this one. I think obviously he's been really good for UCD this season. I think he's did he win the Golden Boot in the first division? I think he did. Yeah,
did well
scored.
though. Yeah, so he was up there.
I think he scored 15 goals or something around that mark. But yeah, I'm sort of two minds about this one. Obviously, he's a good player, but I don't know if he could probably fit into our system in a way because this season he's been mainly played in the two alongside Doyle, is it?
I don't know anyone.
Or Whelan, yeah. He was scored a few goals there as well this season, but yeah, obviously he's been he's been on the radar of Irish football for a couple of years now. He's put in some impressive performances for UCD. I remember, I think last year we played UCD, we lost 1-0, and he scored an absolute cracker of a goal. Yeah, I'm not sure if he'd fit into the system, but if he can come in as a backup to, as you said, if someone like Denny or Macaulay leaves, he could be a decent backup to Andre Roy. So moving on, what kind of transfer strategy would you like to see the club use kind of for the upcoming window?
Like it's kind of the same last year, just back. Like say if one of the main players leave, like your managers, you want someone to come in and kind of, if not someone that's already there, to come in and kind of take their place. But that's the way I would be looking on it. So just more backup within the team. Two players, that's what I'd kind of want to see.
Yeah, I think maybe kind of use the same one that we used last year. Kind of get some good players to come in and probably play most games. Like get maybe a winger now that Twardek's gone. Maybe get a midfielder or a right back if Andy Lyons leaves to kind of come in and play there most of the season, and then maybe just add a few backup players because we're in Europe again next year. We'll have a lot of games because it's probably going to be a full season this season. Hopefully, there's no stops. So yeah, maybe just add a couple of first team players, then add a couple of maybe 3 or 4 kind of squad players, and I think we're sorted. But yeah, what kind of positions would you like to see us strengthening?
Well, I think we do have like a good starting 11, so I wouldn't really change anyone. But if I had to pick a position that we kind of need someone there, that kind of creative attacking midfielder, we just don't have, because we seem to chop and change every week with like Ward, Devoy. But if you get a name there, like, quality player, just to stick first team sheet, I'd love to see that. But overall, just mainly competition in the squad, I'd like to see come in.
Yeah, I think maybe if Devoy can step it up again next year, maybe manage to get into the first team and start most games, and kind of cement a attacking midfield spot for his own head of Ward. I don't know if we're going to bring in another attacking midfielder. I think as we've seen, Adam McDonald's been linked, and I think he's more of a kind of he's like a central midfielder, but he can attack as well. So maybe he could slot in there. Another position I'd probably like to see us strengthen is a winger. I know Promise O'Shea has come in and done okay. I'm just not quite sure he's ready to kind of play week in, week out in that position. So yeah, we probably should be looking in at getting a winger in, because especially since Twardek's gone and Luke Slater left as well, so we're going to need to strengthen that position, I think, because we can't go into next season with one right winger.
We don't really out and out wingers apart from them two. When you look at the bench, they're all just kind of fine players that none of them can really.
We only really have 2 wingers anyway at the minute. Danny Grant and Promise O'Shea, like they're kind of the only 2 wingers we have.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I think a winger should be a priority. Hopefully none of the kind of big players leave this season. Like hopefully we see players like Danny Grant and Andre Wright sign new deals. Who else would you like to see sign new deals?
Don't see any of them leaving. Like, you're not really worried as you would have 2 years ago, but the team is just like there. It's there. It won't really. It doesn't look like changing. There's not really any rumors of main players leaving. So only the couple that you get, the odd one, but that's really it.
Yeah. I think it's important we kind of get them type of players on new deals like Danny Grant and Andrew Wright, because we have the money now where we can probably give them a better wage and maybe give them another 1 year or 2 year contract. Yeah, obviously you're gonna get a few rumored outgoings. Who could you see potentially leaving the club?
See Dinny leaving to someone maybe in the first division, because he's not really getting a look in, and he'll probably leave that kind of second striker behind Andrew Wright to maybe a youngster if Yoyo Mahdy comes in, or even if Paulie can find his way back into Keatlon's book. But yeah, I'd say Dinny could be gone. Maybe to someone like, even like Drogheda coming up, he could go to them because he's from out that way, I think. Whereas someone like Bray, someone like that, that's who I think probably leave.
Yeah, Jimmy hasn't really been the same since his injury. He's kind of gotten slower a bit, but it's expected really, considering I think he's around 31, 30 now, so he's getting on a bit. So yeah, he could be a good signing for someone like Drogheda or Bray, as you mentioned. Maybe even like a Shales or something, or if a Pats, because there's a lot of teams in the league that probably lack a goal scorer up front. Another player that could probably leave is someone like Glenn McCauley. I wonder will he kind of just stick around and sort of just play as backup or kind of the third striker there that can come in, because he hasn't really got a look in at all this season. I know he kind of had there was a couple of games at the start of the season where he played, and he didn't look too bad, to be fair, but I haven't really been impressed with him this season. I know he hasn't really been given the opportunity to play many games, but again, it's all about squad depth, really. He can come in and do a job, but if he was to leave, it could be a good signing for someone like a Shales or Pats, as I mentioned. They go back to Pats, but I'm not sure if he would go back to Pats, to be fair, considering he's done really poor when he was there. But any other kind of players you'd like to see come in realistically, if you can think of any?
Not off my head, but like in previous years, I'd love to see like players from the manager when he came in first. Like, all those types of players coming back from England, trying to prove themselves to try and get another move back over.
Yeah, obviously. There's been rumours of Adam McDonald. He's over in England at the minute with Bournemouth. And yeah, I think I can't really think of many off the top of my head. There's obviously just been two players so far, Yoyo Mahdy and Adam McDonald. It could be a while before we start to see more players getting linked, because as we seen last winter, kind of around this time, it's always kind of the players that are linked early that always get kind of done.
Yeah.
Like Anto Breslin was linked for weeks and weeks before he actually came to the club. Player, same with Lunny and Casey, they were linked for a good while before they actually signed. So, can you see it being a busy sort of window for us?
I'd say it won't be too busy, but there'll be some like significant deals done, because people obviously want to improve the squad and probably let some of the older players leave for the youngsters to kind of pull through and bring the development forward.
Yeah, because there's always a few at the end of the season that are let go. Like we've seen it last season where Scott Allardyce's done a pretty decent job when he was asked to play and he got let go. Same with Ryan Spawn. So we could see a couple of fringe players go, like McCauley, like Dinny. One player I haven't really been too impressed with this season is JJ Lunny. I know he's a decent enough option in that midfield, but if he was to stay for next season, I can't really see him breaking into the side. He'd probably just be there as more of a backup, especially if Adam McDonald comes in. And I know this is kind of funny kind of one, but there always seems to be one Bohs player that signs for Dundalk. I don't know why, but there always just seems to be one. Leahy went, Kelly went. I wonder will a Bohs player end up at Dundalk next season? Hopefully not, but yeah, they can have some like Len McCauley if they want, but yeah. Well, as you said there, could we see mainly some of the youngsters come in next season and kind of cement that spot into the side? See that happen?
Yeah, I can see it happen a bit more than it did this year, because let's just say if we have a 36 game season next year, some of the older players might not have the fitness or whatever, so you need the youngsters there for the odd game anyway to fit in and do a job. So they need as well.
Yeah, as we've seen in the Finn Harps game, Jack Moylan and Evan Ferguson were given a shot, and I think they done pretty well. To be fair, I think Evan Ferguson had I think didn't hit the post in one of the shots.
Yeah,
so nearly scored. Maybe now we're playing Pats. I think it's on Sunday in the last game of the season. Maybe they could be used again. Who knows? But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.